After my mum passed away due to cancer, my dad and went through tough time. We only made it through by supporting each other, but after year, he found new girlfriend. Her name was Karen. She seemed very nice and always asked if she could help me somehow. Things were good until they married and had their first child. Suddenly, whenever my dad spent time with me, my stepmom would throw tantrum and tell him to play with my sister instead. I thought it was unfair, but was too shy to speak up. And it got worse. My stepmom quickly turned my dad against me. She told him how was bad influence on my stepsister because was dressing like tramp. Unfortunately, my dad agreed and gave my stepmom permission to go into my room, to take out all my clothes and to throw them into the trash. Suddenly, was only allowed to wear my dad's old white t-shirts. I was so mad that took all my stepmom's expensive bags and cut them into pieces with scissor. Of course, she went nuclear when she found out and told my dad to kick me out. I screamed back, "I'm only 14, you can't kick me out and didn't cut those bags apart. You did it yourself, so you could blame me." However, my dad didn't believe me and as punishment they took away all my stuff, including my laptop, my TV and my books, and then they sold everything on eBay. I was furious, but also scared. My dad didn't protect me whatsoever. He was completely on her side, and then my birthday arrived. Was expecting my dad to congratulate me in the morning, but instead he told me that he was going with my stepmom and stepsister to Disneyland. I broke down in tears and cried for hours. No one cared about me. When they came back, my stepmom was dressed as Mickey Mouse and screamed, "Oh my God, this was the best trip ever. We had so much fun," and to make things worse, she put up calendars and framed photos of their Disneyland trip all over the house, showing how much fun they had. I knew wasn't part of the family anymore. But it still hurt how my dad completely stopped caring about me. A couple weeks later, my uncle came to visit us. He always speaks his mind. And when he saw my little stepsister, he said, "Oh, she is almost as pretty as her big sister." My stepmom got furious. She screamed, "My daughter is 10 times prettier as her hideous stepsister." And then she proceeded to throw my uncle out, but suddenly, felt like had gained back some power. And whenever saw my little sister said, "Oh, how is my ugly duckling doing today?" Of course my stepmom freaked out when called her daughter an ugly duckling. But took it further, told her, "I don't understand why my dad even wants an ugly child like yours if he has someone like me." Of course, didn't believe in what said. My stepsister was very cute and loved her lot. But did whatever could to anger my stepmom. Unfortunately though, she was smarter than me and recorded everything said and showed it to my dad. He said he was deeply disappointed in me because had insulted my little sister, then he gave my stepmom the authority to punish me in whatever way she wanted. I told him, "No way, I'll let that witch tell me what to do," but my dad screamed back, "You have no choice, you either do what she tells you or we will kick you out." I was only 15 then, so how was supposed to live on my own? Didn't wanna become homeless, so accepted my fate and did whatever my stepmom told me to do. It was mostly housework. Many hours of it. But sometimes even had to massage her. However, at age 16, had enough. Didn't wanna work for my stepmom anymore, so took all the valuables could find of my dad and stepmom and ran away, sold them for $5,000, which might sound like lot, but after months, had spent everything and became homeless. The first night on the streets, slept behind my mum's tombstone on graveyard. But in the morning, some guy hushed me away. Next, found shelter in church, used an old schoolbook as pillow, but didn't feel safe there, so left and became homeless again. I was walking down dark street when police car stopped next to me. They said 16-year-old should be at home, so they ringed my dad's house bell. When he opened, he didn't look relieved to see his daughter safe and well. Instead he was angry. But not as angry as my stepmom. She held me long speech of how was hideous person, who had stolen her money and stuff, but didn't care. The next day, took my dad's credit card and booked flight to Los Angeles, had cousin living over there. And she allowed me to stay at her place, even though it meant we had to share single bed in dorm.